Jay King.
Brad, there was obviously a lot of a burden on Jason Tatum throughout this season and during this run too in the playoffs. How do you think he handled that, and what do you want him to take from this experience, both basketball and otherwise?
Jay, I think he handled it as well as you could possibly handle it. I mean, the amount of attention that he's getting throughout the whole season, but certainly in the last couple games, is really hard to operate under. They've got a lot of smart players. You know, Kevin Durant is all over him with great length and ability to challenge shots. And Jason just continuously found ways to make plays. You know, I thought that he did a really good job. You know, obviously we didn't do enough as a team tonight to be successful. But I think he showed a lot of mettle this year when you consider what he went through with COVID, what he went through with coming back from COVID, and then the level he went to at the end of the year.
Mark Murphy.
Hi, Brad. As evidenced by the three guys you didn't have tonight, I mean, you haven't had a good look at the team you thought you had this year. How much do you think this is going to change? What do you think you have going forward?
Well, you know, obviously we've got some really good players and some proven guys, and but we have to improve. There's several ways to do that. We improve through, you know, obviously continued development and the right work ethic, and doing a good job with the developmental stuff. And then there, you know, obviously is the ability to acquire people. And so, you know, this team that beat us is a very good team. There are very good teams across the East, and we're going to have to get better. We never got a true look at this team this year, but I think we have enough information that shows that we need to get better.
Brian Robb.
Just following up on that, Brad, with this Nets team obviously not going anywhere, the Bucks and the Sixers not going anywhere, just the challenge that you guys have to get back to that level, you know, with, you know, in past years in the East has been seen as a bigger conference, but now it just looks like there are going to be some powerhouses there for years to come now.
The East is really good. And that's you know, there's a lot of work ahead. And it's going to, you know, I think the idea is always, and we've been fortunate, we've been in the mix for the last couple years. You know, prior to this, or at least, you know, playing as one of the last four teams playing and three of the last four prior to this. But this is, you know, the East has improved. But we have some really good foundational, you know, people in our building. And so we can get better, and we will, you know, go through all those avenues to get there.
Tim Bontemps.
Brad, I was curious from your standpoint, kind of along those lines, what have you learned from this season, even though you didn't have at any point maybe the whole team you would have wanted to have?
Well, I think the one thing that I've tried to keep perspective on our team all the way through the season. It's been a hard year. You know, we were never full. There were some ups and downs, but I just told the team, like, in a lot of ways, it was as hard of a year as any of us have been through. And they did nothing but stick together, improve, and we didn't play perfect basketball, but we showed a lot of growth in the last few weeks, both individually and at times collectively. And so there's stuff to build off of. But at the same time, you know, as Brian mentioned, the task is tall. And if you want to be in the mix, then you've got to be better than we were.
Gary Washburn.
Just touching on that, Brad, what did you learn about this team in this playoff series? It seemed like obviously, like tonight, you played well, good defensively for 3.5 quarters. Then, they're like Mike Tyson. If they get a couple of blows, it's almost over. But what did you learn about your team in this series?
Again, I think that we showed when we're totally together on both ends of the court that we can be a handful no matter who's in the game. And I think that that's been the staple of good teams all over the league in the past. It was not always the case earlier this year, Gary. As you know, like we had moments where we didn't meet the moment with whoever was available, like maybe we have in the past. And that's probably the most disappointing part of our midseason. But we got better with that as the year went on. We take some individual guys that I thought raised their level and got a little bit better. Not, obviously Jason's the obvious one, but there are several others. And I thought Romeo was great tonight and showed signs kind of throughout the course of the last few games that he can build off of heading into the summer, and others did a good job too. So, but we have to get better, and we know that.